Hi, I'm Alexi. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's episode because I wish I watched a video like this when I started doing projects. We're gonna call today's episode Staining 101. Staining is simple if you do it correctly and if you do it in the right order. So today I'm going to go through all of the different steps that you need to do when you're staining your project. I'm going to talk about softwoods versus hardwoods, the big difference between what you do when you're staining either project. We're also going to talk about prepping your projects before you stain, and we're going to talk about sealing your projects when you're done. So this beautiful plant stand is one of the projects that I worked on today, and this beautiful guy too. And look how cute they are in my space with the plants on top of them as they were meant to be. Today's project is sponsored by the Home Depot while I use their exclusive stain brand, Varathane. I have been using Varathane ever since it came out, and I love Varathane. I really, truly do. They're different than the stains that I used a long time ago because these stains achieve your color in one coat, which means that it's really hard to mess up. So it's the perfect beginner and intermediate and advanced stain to be using. So let's talk about prepping, staining, and sealing your projects. Do you like my makeshift table for the day? You're gonna need wood conditioner. I'm using Varathane pre-stained wood conditioner. Actual stain, this is the color Dark Walnut. I'm using it on one of the two projects I'm showing you today. You're also gonna want polyurethane. This is a newer product that comes in a can, which is awesome. You're gonna want a rag. I like to use these brushes that are really cheap, and I honestly just throw them away when I'm done. You're gonna want some gloves that you don't get a stain on your hands, and you may be staining only part of your project, so in that case, use some tape. Real fast, I wanna show you that you can mix different colors of stain, even stain colors that are this different. You can mix stain colors to make a beautiful stain. I have a hunch that in between these two colors is a color dying to be born. So let's figure that out right now. We're gonna make a little recipe mixing these two stain colors. This first stain color that I'm gonna use is called Golden Pecan. And I think I'm gonna wanna do a bunch of it, honestly, because the next project I'm staining, I'm gonna need a lot. 10, okay. So for just ease of use, I'm just gonna kind of wipe my paintbrush clean for a second on my table. And I'm just gonna use a little bit of this color, which is Weathered Gray. And I'm just gonna start off with just a little bit. And we'll figure out if this is a good color or not. Oh my gosh. That is beautiful. Are you kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that. Do you see that color? See how it really is in between these two colors? Okay, I think I'm gonna really love that. So since I'm using this table, I'm just gonna test it on this little baby corner. We'll see what I think. Okay. Yeah. Turns out, yes, I have found the most perfect stain color ever on the planet. So I'm gonna use it on my actual project, and the recipe, in case you ever wanna use it, is 10 parts Golden Pine, 1 part, or even less than 1 part, half part, Weathered Gray. There you have it. Best stain color recipe in the world. Okay, now that I know what color I want these dowels to be, we first are gonna give them a good sand, and then I'm going to condition them with a stain wood conditioner. And you see the difference between this now lightly sanded handrail dowel compared to these two. These just have a little natural patina, which happens over time because untreated wood will naturally oxidize and add a patina, which just means it gets a little bit darker. So before you stain, you want to take off that patina with a light coat of sandpaper. This is 120 grit on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other two. One sec. Okay, now that all three of these are stained, we are going to coat them with what is called a stain wood conditioner. A wood conditioner helps the penetration of stain go really evenly. So you only need to use pre-stain wood conditioner on soft woods. So here's a list of soft woods that you need to use pre-conditioner on. Here's a list of hardwoods that you do not. So what you do pretty much is you paint it on just like a stain, you wipe it off, and then you let it penetrate the wood for 30 minutes before you put your stain on. So let's go for it. Literally gonna look like a stain and act like a stain, but it's not. So we're just gonna do one dowel at a time. I'm obviously going quickly. You can be messy with this, which is nice too. Just make sure that you've coated everywhere, because it's going to be obvious if you've missed any spots. Again, since we don't want this to dry, we're going to wipe this off immediately with the rag. These cotton rags are awesome. They're actually in the paint and stain section of Home Depot. You can get packs of these, and every time I have a project, I'll usually just buy a big pack. Now I'm going to do these two. Okay, and this is the moment we have been waiting for the whole video, is to finally stain. So all of that hard work beforehand is just to make sure that the stain is going to go on evenly, that it's going to look good, and yeah, we're finally here. Time to stain. So since I'm doing all sides, I should probably hold this vertically, and I only need to do one end, so I can keep this end on my makeshift table for the day. So what you want to do when you're staining is follow the grain, and we're going to let it sit. You have to let it sit at least 2 to 3 minutes, but this is a pretty light colored stain, so I might actually let it sit a little bit longer, just to make sure it fully, you know, to make it get a little bit darker. And this plant stand is going to look so fabulous. Not really sure where to put it now. We'll just set it there. Okay, and I'm gonna do the other two really fast. So I already showed you one way of obviously mixing stain colors, and another very easy way to mix stain colors is to literally layer them. So you stain with one color and you wipe it off, and then you stain with a different color and wipe it off. This is my favorite method because I know exactly what it's going to turn out to look like every time, and you can kind of have like a recipe of sorts. But I do like that about stain, is that it's pretty versatile. Okay, this first one is probably ready to wipe off. Oh my gosh, that is stunning. I have to wipe that clean. I love that color. Beautiful. Okay, my hand has stain on it now. So pretty. So you want to wipe it really good when you're wiping stain off, or it can be sticky. So that's another tip for you. Beautiful. I love that. Here's a comparison. This is what it used to look like. Beautiful, right? Love that. Okay. This one is stunning too. And the last one, I might let it sit another like 30 seconds. But there you have it. There is how you stain. On another plant stand, I'm gonna show you how to seal it to make it water resistant. So we're using a urethane on top. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how these plant stands turn out. Okay, last step you need to do is seal your projects. especially when you're creating a project that might have exposure to water. This is an essential step. This awesome new product is polyurethane in a can form, which is awesome. So the instructions say to make sure that your surface is really clean and sanded down and smooth, which I've already done. So what we're gonna do is just give it a vigorous shake and then spray it on in light coats 10 to 12 inches from the surface. At a certain angle, you can see where it's actually going and apply it evenly and get all of the surface. So I need to make sure this stays out of the sun while it dries, and it takes an hour to dry, and then we should be done. And in just 10 minutes, it is dry to the touch, and it is beautiful. I ended up choosing the satin finish, which I think looks so smooth and so beautiful. That was the easiest sealing job I have ever done with staining. So I highly recommend it. Thank you so much for watching today's project. I hope you learned something. I hope this was enjoyable for you, and I hope that as you start your projects, you feel a little bit more empowered to tackle whatever project you are working on. That is my goal from every project that I do, is to help inspire and empower you to figure out something new, to go for it, and to be a doer. Please hit that like button if you liked any part of today's video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you can be notified the next time that I come out with a project. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.